there are very few people in your life that you get to meet, who inspire you, who want you to be a better person. And Dr. G.N. Rao is certainly one among them. I can tell you without an iota of doubt. Because a lot of people in Hyderabad think that LV Prasad is the founder of this institute. You have to be really selfless. You really have to be, um, a person with the utmost humility, not to want your name to be on the name of the institute that you founded. Now that in itself, I think, goes to tell you what kind of a man Dr. Kullapalli Nageshwara Garu is. So my compliments to you, sir. I think the recognition came in pretty late, actually, if you ask me, MSR. Being recognized by WHO as one of the top 10 most impactful guys in healthcare, sir. Kudos to you. Kudos to your contribution to the field of ophthalmology, and kudos to the institute you've built. Because this institute, again, has been recognized by Shumaz, is it? Shumago, as one of the top 10 research institutes in healthcare, in eye care in the world. Again, compliments to the institution you've built, sir. I think as individuals, when I think COVID, especially the last couple of years, has given us a lot of time to introspect, a lot of time to think, a lot of time to mull over what we do in life, where we are headed, etc., etc. And the one thing I think we all realized, end of the day, at least I have, is that it is not an individual that is going to be there forever. Because all of us, most of us, have lost somebody that we know, or somebody that we love, or somebody in our family, or we knew somebody who lost somebody, that sort of thing. We live like we are here for 1,000 years. We all do. Every day, in and out, we're thinking about materialistic comforts, we're thinking about lofty ideals, lofty goals, where we want to be in life and what we want to accomplish in life, etc., etc. But the fact is, none of us are here forever. But what matters is what kind of an impact an individual has had over the society, and what kind of an institution or what kind of an impactful presence that man had or that woman had while he was on this planet. And I think truly outstanding people build institutions which outlast them. And I think LV Prasad Eye Institute is a standing testimony to that. And my compliments to the entire team from 1978 until today, 36 plus years. Dr. Rao, you've done truly well. And you continue to outdo yourself, because each and every time I see something like this, each and every time I'm invited here. I was here when Srujana Center for Innovation was launched. I was also here a couple of months ago to get my eyes tested. I've become old. I have 3 sets of reading glasses now, unfortunately. And I'm also, when Dr. KR was speaking, I was thinking to myself, I'm a patient of diabetes mellitus. So I'm certain that glaucoma is going to hit and set in at some point in time, and a cataract is needed at some point also. I'm going to come back. But the point is, institutions need to outlast individuals, processes need to outlast persons, personalities. And that's the only way your business is also going to succeed. Our Chief Minister, KCR Garu, he keeps telling us, he keeps reminding us, whenever I tell him about something new, something fancy in technology, the one question he has without fail is, what is the societal impact of this technology that you talk about? Does it have a positive societal impact? Or is it just one of those fancy things that people talk about, which goes nowhere and helps nobody, but it's cool to have? Now that's the one question. When Mohan Reddy Garu was speaking, I was thinking, yes, truly, the power of computation has increased, the cost of communication has cut down, the cost of memory, the cost of computing has come down, but healthcare keeps getting more and more expensive. And especially for a third world country like India. I mean, we don't say it often, out of pride or whatever, but the fact is India is a third world country where our per capita income is only $2,000. There's a huge population out there who are not privileged enough to have access to good health care. And of course, therein lies also a business opportunity from an entrepreneurial perspective, if you think about it. My humble request to all the entrepreneurs in this room is, of course, as MSR said, I think profit with a purpose. That matters. That should matter. That should, in fact, be the goal, if you ask me. Especially if you're an Indian and who wants to innovate in India, who wants to incubate in India, who wants to incorporate in India, and who also wants to serve in India. I think you need to have that sense of profit with a purpose. Because you can make money, in many ways. You can go out, do some real estate transactions, you'll still make money. But to be able to impact lives, to be able to deliver some good, I think it truly takes character, truly takes courage and commitment. Because entrepreneurship in India is not easy. As MS said, it's a lonely journey. And wealth creators in India are not really, I mean, those especially who make lots of money are not really respected as much as they are in the West, trust me. So point I'm trying to make is innovation, entrepreneurship is the only way I think this country, any developing country, any emerging economy is ever going to prosper. In fact, Ajit Rangnekar, who heads our RICH, the institution Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, whose primary objective, who's been driving this, in fact, with a lot of passion. In fact, Ajit wanted nothing to do with government. I had to convince him, I had to tell him, no, this is going to be a very different government. I'm really thankful to you, Ajit, because you said something very nice. You said, we have the best ecosystem in the country, this state. I'm truly delighted, truly touched that finally, you agree with me that this state and this government honestly has done whatever it could in terms of beefing up the infrastructure, the ecosystem, making it conducive to come, innovate, to actually, probably create enterprises out of this place. The 2 points I'll leave you with. LV Prasad Eye Institute is a specialized institute, we all know. It's a niche institute. The one advice I have for entrepreneurs is, if you want to succeed, be original. Be original. Do not be a copycat. It's easy being a copycat and succeeding. You can create a Flipkart, you can create a Snapdeal copying Amazon. I think that's easy. You can create a number of other such spin-offs and such copycats by copying and aping what's already done and dusted in the West. But if you're original, and if you come out with something truly world-class, the best time to be an entrepreneur is not now. Because, when Mohan Reddy Garu started Cyient, back then it was called Infotech, I think he did not have the same kind of privilege as you do. When MS was speaking, when Ajit was speaking, they were talking about everything else but capital. Because in today's world, if you have a great idea, capital is not a challenge, not a constraint. Back in the day, a couple of decades ago, capital was a huge challenge. To raise money, to fund your idea, to actually go to market, to commercialize it, that was the biggest challenge. But in today's world, capital is one of the last things that people talk about. It's the idea, the product. It's how quickly you can bring to market, how original it is. I think that's really what matters. The second piece of advice I have for you, first is be original, be courageous. Second, please celebrate failure, because today we have 42 guys here, out of which I think 3 are going to be 12 finalists and 13 rather, with somebody who just leapfrogged, or I don't know what is that wild card thing, whatever that is. But there is only going to be 3 people, three teams here who will finally be getting something like a felicitation, some award, or whatever it is. The remaining 39 who go home, please don't be disheartened, firstly, because I think a lot of times we undervalue, a lot of times we don't realize that what we take for granted in normal times, normal courses, and what we really don't realize, the importance of mundane. We need to understand that failure and learning is a part of life. Till COVID came about in our lives, till COVID came along in our lives, I think many of us were cribbing about how boring work is, how tough it is, to wait through the traffic and go to office and spend long hours and all that. But after COVID came in, I heard my friends and everybody else, there such loud cries of wanting to get out of home, wanting to do, just go back to normalcy, however bad it was, just go back. That was the thing. So I keep telling people, normalcy is underrated. My humble request to you is, when you have an idea, even if it sounds like a very normal one, please don't overlook it. Just don't go for the fanciest of ideas. Look at the most mundane problems. Look at the most innocuous, most simple looking like problems. Focus on them. Try and find optimal solutions. Even if it means, even initially, even if you start thinking that this isn't a great idea, this isn't earth shattering, it need not be. It could just be a very simple idea, but if it has to be original, even if it's mundane.